All right, both of these rings need to go up about a half a size. This one, see that finish on it? That's going to pose a problem, but we've got a solution. This one is what they call a tapered band. It's wider at the top, but since both of them have to go up, they're going to be sized up two different ways. So let's size both of them up. All right, so to start with, let's get this ring prepped because this one I'm going to stretch it because I think I can just do a much better job that way. So this is a process called annealing. It's just getting the gold ready to move a half a size. Okay, while that ring is cooling, this ring, I'm going to size it by cutting it and adding a piece. So some people would say, why does it cost the same to stretch versus sizing? And basically this method uses less labor and more material, whereas this one over here uses more labor and less material, so it pretty much washes out. Okay, so what we have to do, this ring needs to go to around a 7 1/4. So you can see the gap we need to fill. This is a little piece of 14 karat gold sizing stock. And that gunk on the top of it is probably my dirty fingerprints. But you can see this piece of metal, which is gold, fills the gap. So now let me get it soldered in place. Okay, so now I want you to pay attention to something, how this side of the ring is not lined up with this side of the ring. And I don't care for a reason, so let me show you why. I'm only going to solder 1/2 of this in right now. And if I was to try to line it all up, I'd spend 30 minutes trying to get that lined up. So now that that's soldered in, let me show you how to line it up now. So you can see this side's loose over here. But I want to clean this end up. And the reason I soldered that other side first was because I had a really good tight fit. So now I'm going to clean this side up to do the same thing. Much better. Now, and if you'll shoot out here and take a look at this, now, as you can see, I can bend it very easily to where I want it. That's lined up. But there's still a gap right here. So let's take these specialty pliers and bend it. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, let's solder that in place. All right, so now that they're lined up and we've got a nice clean gap between the two, we'll just solder it. Bring your torch under to draw the solder all the way through the joint, and we now have a very well soldered sizing job. All right, now let's start cleaning some of this excess off. All right, so now we've got it all installed and sanded out and cleaned, and look at that, right on a 7 1/4. Now let's work on the gents ring and how we're going to size it. All right, this ring is an 8. As you can see my 8 right there, this is an 8, and it needs to go to an 8 1/2, and we're going to stretch it. Every time I raise this handle, see how this mandrel spreads out? Every time it spreads out, it stretches the ring up. So that's how this machine works. So I'm going to put the ring on here. I'm going to stretch it all the way out. Then I'm going to let the ring come down just a little bit. And as I stretch it, I'm barely putting any pressure on this ring. All right, so now let's see where we're at. Look at that, we're almost an 8 1/2. All right, let's go one more go. all the way up, barely down, and you keep turning it so you get a nice even stretch. I'm going to turn the ring over because it is on a taper. All right, here we go again. It was an 8 here, so now is it an 8.5? Look at that. Let's turn it over. 8.5. Now we are going to anneal it one more time. You don't have to, but I just like to do it because I want to take all the pressure I just put on this ring off of this ring.
Okay.
Okay, so this one was easy to polish, but this one that has that finish around it, I think I'm going to get lucky and not have to polish the outside and affect that finish, because I think all of the prep work we did on it allowed that whole finish to be saved. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. And remember, if you don't have a jeweler that you trust, or you don't even have a jeweler in your hometown, we'll put a link in the description below down there telling you how to send your jewelry to us. Until next time.